I am Bree. I am a United States Air Force veteran. Joined the Air Force to see the world, and I got mountain home fucking Idaho. Yeah. And I have been married for 20 years. Plot twist, to a man. Yeah, and we have a shit ton of kids together. Yeah, and I mean, in our defense, there's not much to do in mountain home fucking Idaho. It's either meth or procreate. And we both like our teeth, so we had a shit ton of kids. And by a shit ton of kids, I mean 10 kids. I know, holy Jesus. Not all of them have our DNA. Okay, all right. So we also are foster parents. Thank you, Jesus. That feels so good. I just didn't stand up here to get this platform. But we also failed at being a foster parent. We've adopted 2. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So so we have a shit ton of kids. And I love being a parent. Obviously, that would be awkward if I didn't. And when my way of relaxing and my Zen place is working in one of the busiest ERs in the nation. Yeah, that's my happy place. And my husband's super supportive about it. At first, he was a little concerned about the amount of penis I saw on a daily basis. But after I told him I saw more innies than outies, he accepted it. I didn't want to tell him about the time, but I'm going to tell him, because he's right here, the creepy guy. So there was one time that you see when somebody comes in and they are unconscious, we do have to strip them and flip them and check them out, right? Well, this patient woke up. And unfortunately for me, I got stuck at the legs to hold him down. And I had already stripped him. And that ding-a-ling was out there, flopping around, and I'm holding on to his legs like this. Pray to God I don't get a mushroom stamp in the middle of my forehead. And then I had to look at my husband in the eye the next day and be like, I mean, I was really good. Like, I should be in a rodeo. But yeah, so we have a shit ton of kids. Because I work in the medical field, people think that that's the reason why I have to, do the birds and the bees talk with our kids. No, that's not the reason why. You see, when our kids were younger, my husband was supposed to take on this opportunity, if you will. And there was one day where my husband and I were practicing giving them a sibling when one of the kids walked in. Okay? And I was mortified. And I set my husband down to take care of the situation. And when he came back upstairs, he was like, it's all handled. And I was like, well, what'd you say? What'd you do? And they were like, he said, well, they asked me, what were you and Mommy doing? And he said, well, we were playing Power Rangers. And Mommy was the pink Power Ranger. And I was like, okay, not the method I would have gone with, but I mean, if they're happy with it, I'm happy with it. And it was great until like a week later, and I heard my son tell the neighbor girl, hey, you want to go up to my room and play Power Rangers? And I was like, no! And from that point on, no more birds and the bees conversations for him. And I've done pretty well too. I would have been concerned that my son shaved his pubes the night before homecoming. And just so you know, I wasn't the one that came to this realization. No, it was my daughters who found pubes all over the toilet seat. And as his mom, I was conflicted because I was like, well, shit. shit, this is the kid that constantly I have to remind to brush his teeth and brush his hair, and for once he's grooming himself. But on the other hand, I'm like, I'm too fucking young to be a grandma. And I know I've done the birds and bees talk with him, but I stuffed that shit full of condoms. You pull the visor down, condoms, in his car. Sorry, that shit, condoms. I was like, didn't cram it there. Stuffed his car full of condoms. And I'm really glad I did. Because I think my son lost his virginity in the church parking lot. Yeah, if that's not a new meaning to coming to Jesus, I don't know what else.